Hello, Gary Crowley here with DoItYourselfJointPainRelief.com. This is video 2 of 4 videos on stiff neck pain relief. And again, this is a supplement to the main neck pain relief page, but we're just trying to give you the main places to work on if you're having restricted movement in your neck. So in video 2, we're going to release this muscle basically in your armpit. On the inside of your shoulder blade, between your rib cage and your shoulder blade. In video 1, we released your serratus anterior down here that yanks on your shoulder blade, which yanks on your neck. We released your teres muscles on the side of your shoulder blade, which yanks on your shoulder blade, which yanks on your neck. And now we're going to release your subscapularis deep in that armpit of yours, because it too torques your shoulder blade, which yanks on your neck, which can prevent you from being able to turn your head. So, what I'm going to have you do is, easiest way to get at this when you're doing it yourself is to lie on your side, and probably you're just going to take the palm of your hand, maybe rest it on the back of your skull, kind of where it meets your neck a little bit, just so it's nice and comfortable. So it takes the least amount of effort to kind of hold it up there. And then you take your other hand, the fingertips of your other hand, and we're going to do, as I show you on the techniques page, how to do a press, pull, release. And basically, here's your edge of your shoulder blade where you've already worked, and you're going to come in, toward your chest, an inch or so, and then you're going to press kind of down and in. And when you press down and in, there's your subscapularis, and you'll feel if it's tight. And I notice if I drift a little forward with my elbow, it's a little harder to get in there. So you want to make sure that's kind of nice and perpendicular. You reach in there, and mine's actually a little tight because I live in the modern world and I compute too much and drive too much. But so you poke in there a little bit, and then after finding some tender spots, you might want to do some press hold move where you press on a tender spot and make it move. I will often flap my wing first and then maybe do some reaching over my head. And those two motions seem to get some pretty good release. I'll even do that. Actually, for me anyway, this seems to really get at it. Basically, you want to play a little bit, see where you can get that most of the release. And so I started here, pressed in, and I'm just feeling around probably about 6 inches or so. Right there, all the way up. And like for me, that actually lower part, right there, I'm going to lean forward so you can see a little bit, is kind of tight. Now that doesn't get it, but that motion does. I'm almost reaching a little over and behind me, but boy, that gets that muscle to release. And then when you've got most of the big stuff, in my experience, then with your arm bone basically kind of perpendicular to the floor, the table, or the bed, then you want to maybe move that. Basically, you're rotating this humerus bone. But if you just think about if someone were throwing a ball at you from behind and you just wanted to whack it back to them, you do that kind of motion and you'll feel that muscle move in a different way. And depending on how you got this muscle tight, it's probably going to react more substantially to one of these moves than the other. So this one's pretty good. I get some little stuff there. And this one's pretty good. I can get some release there, but for me, for whatever reason, whatever way I'm using my arm, that motion is what really, my brain says, oh, thank you, now I understand, and it releases the tissue. So that is your subscapularis muscle, manual release, here lying on your side. And now, I'm actually going to show you, depending on who you are, either an easier way or a more difficult way to release it by stretching it. Some of my clients love to just stretch their subscapularis up against the wall, that I'll show you in a minute, and they think that's so much better than what I just showed you. But other people, they just lie on their side, they poke in their armpit, and they move their arm around and get it to release. So it's basically whatever you like and whatever gets the best result is what I recommend. So I'm going to have to rearrange things here for a second, but I'll see you right back here and I will show you a subscapularis stretch. Okay, so we just showed you how to manually release your subscapularis muscle by lying on your side and doing certain motions to get that muscle free. And that's a very effective way to do it if that works for you. But another way to do it is to do this subscapularis stretch that I love, because you can kind of just take a second and do it whenever you feel like it. If you've been mousing too much or driving too much, then it's a quick way to get at that subscapularis. And all you're going to do is you're going to take your hand and put it basically behind your head on your neck, so it's nice and secure in there. You're going to stand about, maybe 3 inches from the wall, so you're perpendicular to the wall, and you're just going to lean your body weight over, so you're kind of leaning against the wall. And then you're going to take this inside foot and you're going to sneak it around to the other side of your foot, so actually there's a lot more weight going into the wall. Now I'm kind of off my elbow, I'm more kind of on the back of my arm there. And as you lean, you will feel it up in here. And you just lean at whatever level you're comfortable, and actually it feels really, really good if you have a tight subscapularis. And because I'm on a computer too much, I do have a tight subscapularis. So from behind, it would look a little like this. Again, I'm probably, a couple, 3 inches from the wall, and I just lean so my weight's over there. Then I take this foot that was closest to the wall and I move it back, and then I just stretch. Now I can also push a little bit in and out using these muscles. That helps my brain focus a little bit. But that's a wonderful stretch. And again, from the front, what I was doing with that arm was I was just pushing against the wall a little bit to raise myself up, and getting a deeper stretch, pushing, getting a deeper stretch, and then that actually tells your brain you actually want to release that when you use it a little bit more. If for some reason standing's a little too uncomfortable for you, or a little too worrisome for you, you can just get on your knees. Similar thing, maybe get a little further from the wall because you're not going to be able to put your leg around. But just as best you can, just lean out, then raise that whatever level you need to. Do that. You can do the same thing now. It doesn't get, you don't have as much of your body weight leaning into this whole stretch here, so it might not get you as big a release as the way you stand against the wall and do it. But it's a great subscapularis stretch. And when you've done the manual release and maybe tried this stretch out for your subscapularis, just take a minute and assess if your stiff neck has become less stiff, and actually if you had a pain right on the top of your, where your shoulder meets your neck, that's probably gone too after you release that subscapularis. So review how effective it was, and the last technique, we're going to show you how to release your jaw, so that if you feel restriction up in the top of your neck, releasing your jaw will probably undo that tension in those first top 2 vertebrae. So thank you for your time, and I will see you at video 4. Thank you very much.